when I lived in downtown LA, I had a friend that was a baker. And he had a bakery shop a couple miles from where I lived. And every once in a while, I would go and I would meet up with him for lunch and want to check out his cakes because his cakes were some of the best cakes on the planet. This guy was on TV shows and all kinds of stuff, Cake Boss or what I don't remember which show it was, but it was one of the shows, and he was excellent at what he did. He was fantastic at selling professional cakes. He used to do cakes for weddings, cakes for all kinds of stuff. And I would always pop by there because, he had fantastic stuff and I loved everything that he had. But some of the stuff that he had was like stuff that you would never look for. Like you'd never Google it. But when you saw it, you were like, holy shit, I want that. And we became good friends because I did some marketing for him. He helped me out with some stuff. And I would visit him every once in a while. And we were having lunch one time, and I asked him, like, dude, how do you come up with all this stuff? Like, you make some of the most amazing, ridiculous, bizarre cakes that I've ever seen, but they are amazing. Like, how do you come up with new flavors? How do you come up with new designs or experiments? Like, how do you figure out how to put this frosting on this cake and mix it together? Like, what do you do? What's your process? Because I wanted to know, like, not just from a cake perspective, but like as from a genius, brilliant person, a creative person, like how does he create this stuff? And he told me it's a lot of experimentation. And he said that he doesn't start with the cake. He starts with the cupcake. And I was like, oh, makes sense now. I get it. So rather than waste all the resources, all the eggs and flour and whatever the hell else goes into a cake, I have no idea, I never built one. Rather than waste all that stuff, make a cake, doesn't turn out right, doesn't taste right, whatever, throw it away, start over. Rather than do all that, he gets one of those like big industrial sheets that has a bunch of holes for cupcakes. I don't know if they're 18 or 24 or how they work, but he'll make some base batter and then he'll try a couple different experiments in every single hole. And he'll bake like a sheet of like 18 or 24 cupcakes and test each one. And of course you have them written down and figure out which one is which. And he performs experiments like that in batches. Like it's just straight up like he doesn't build the whole thing. He doesn't start with all the resources and all the things and all the stuff. He starts with the little cupcake. He just makes one little cupcake. That was brilliant. That blew my mind. I was like, whoa, he's got it. He's smart there. And I feel like the same thing applies to game development or software development. Like a lot of us start with the cake and we get everything messy. We fuck up the kitchen. We throw in a bunch of stuff and it doesn't come out right. And then we're like, oh, dang it. Let's make another cake. And then we waste a bunch more resources, time, energy, money, whatever it is. And then, it doesn't come out good. And I feel like sometimes focusing on the cupcake would be a better alternative. Focusing on batching out the little pieces. Making the same thing 24 different ways, 18 different ways on a small scale where it takes you very little time, very little effort. Just keeping track of what you're changing and what you're doing. Trying out all the variations. And seeing what works. I think that's pretty awesome. I think that's a way of building games and building software and building pretty much anything creatively that is effective. Because it's not about the resources, right? Resources are limited. You can only have so much time. You can only have so much money, so much energy, right? Like not all of us have unlimited, especially with time. We all get the same 24 hours in a day. Right? Not all of us are millionaires or billionaires. We don't have all the money to spend. Not all of us are super, jacked on life and have all the energy to run at it. So the more resources you waste, technically, the less is available to actually finish the thing and make the right thing. So when you're still experimenting, finding out what you want to build, spending the minimal amount of resources on the minimal amount of thing, building the cupcake, not the cake, I think is a better way to go. So that's my thoughts Hope you found it useful. I'm curious if you've ever built a cupcake, not a cake, in game development. If you ever started with the small things, started with the prototype or the core mechanic or the smallest portion of the thing, of the cake that you want to build. And if so, how did it work? Let me know in the comments below. My name is Tim Roswick, and I'll see you again tomorrow.